What is up, guys? So Sports back in with another video. In today's video, we're just gonna be looking ahead to the NBA trade deadline that is gonna happen in about 2 weeks. So this trade deadline, I don't believe it's gonna be like other ones where we see potentially a big star being moved, such as what happened in 2017 when DeMarcus Cousins was traded to the Pelicans. I just don't really expect any moves like that to happen, and I think it's gonna be relatively quiet this year. So, I mean, we can get into some things that have already happened. So, of course, you want to talk about Jeff Teague being traded back to the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, is that really noteworthy? Yeah. You know, they get a backup point guard. And then I think last week, Trevor Ariza was just traded to the Trailblazers. He should provide, some three-point shooting and some defense. And then just yesterday, we had two trades by the Dallas Mavericks. The first trade was Isaiah Roby being sent to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Justin Patton and cash. And then Justin Patton was immediately released. And then the Mavericks doubled down and they traded for Willie Cauley-Stein from the Golden State Warriors in exchange for a Utah Jazz 2020 second-round pick. So, a pretty newsworthy day, I guess you can say. But we can just talk about that trade a little bit. For a 2020 second-round pick from the Jazz that is probably going to be in the 50s potentially. For Willie Cauley-Stein, I guess that's good value. He could provide some rebounding, hopefully some defense down there in the paint. And he's only on a 2-year minimum deal, so not really, it's not like you're trading for a guy on like a 15, 20. It's not going to hamper any more moves that you can make. And there are expected to make some more moves. But besides that, Justin Patton, I think will get picked up quick, actually. Hopefully my Cavs, I'm actually want the Cavs to definitely pick him up. We had an injury to Ante Zizic. He could be a good young center that can come in and potentially become something for us. You never know. So it's worth a shot at least. But yeah, besides that, nothing else really happened. But yeah, in today's video, I'm just going to highlight, a couple players or a few players at that and a few teams that I think will be active during this trade deadline. So yeah, let's get into it. So let's start off with the teams that I believe will be active. So first team I want to talk about is the Los Angeles Lakers. So the Lakers currently sit in firm place of first place in the Western Conference. And, despite this, I think they should still be aggressive and they should still look to add more talent. So there have been, talks that they were looking at guys like Derrick Rose and potentially Bogdan Bogdanovic, and I think those would be two great additions. Now, Bogdan, I don't think he's on the market anymore because he was just inserted into the starting lineup, I think, yesterday. And I think the Kings actually do want to keep him. So I think he's off the table right now. But Derrick Rose is definitely somebody they could trade for. Derrick Rose is having a resurgence, bounce back year. He's playing excellent for the Detroit Pistons. And I think the Pistons would be fools to not move Derrick Rose. I think you're looking at Derrick Rose is obviously a hot commodity. A lot of people want him, and you could definitely get a first-round pick from a team. Now, the Lakers, of course, they don't have a first-round pick this year that they can trade. But, they still have some assets. Like, they have a couple second-round picks. You have Talen Horton-Tucker, who's a young guy. You have Kyle Kuzma, who I'm not really a big fan of. I don't really see it with him, but, I mean, he's out there. And then you have guys like Rajon Rondo, Avery Bradley, maybe not Avery Bradley, but like a Troy Daniels who could fill cap for you guys. So, you can make the move work. But, yeah, the Lakers, I expect them to be in the market for a backup point guard. They've been really in need for that. Rajon Rondo has just not been the same this year. He's been really inconsistent. Even though he is shooting well from three, it's just not, he's not, it's not like he's taking a bunch. So, you can still he's not someone that you have the game plan for. And he's just been out of his element really most of the year. So I don't really like the fit with him. But yeah, they're going to be in the market for a facilitating backup scoring point guard. So a Derrick Rose, potentially. They could even go out and sign a Darren Collison, who has, said that he wants to return. So that's another player they could look at. But looking at other point guards, maybe a DJ Augustine, potentially. That could be a good addition. But again, I don't really expect them to go out there and make a giant move. They don't really have a lot of assets to begin with. So if they can land Derrick Rose, that'll be great. That'll just improve their championship odds even more. And that's a team that I think will make the championship and win it. But yeah, that's really it on the Lakers. The next team I just want to highlight really quickly is the Philadelphia 76ers. So coming to the season, we already talked about them in a previous video. Obviously, a lot of people expected the Sixers to be a lot better, and they just haven't. But I think the big problem with that is just been the fit. Their lineup is really weird. You're starting basically 4 big men with Ben Simmons, Al Horford, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid, even though Embiid is injured right now. And then you have Josh Richardson. You just don't have a go-to scorer, I guess. You're missing the presence of Jimmy Butler, and you're losing JJ Redick in free agency. Even though Franquan Korkmaz has been good and maybe filling in the JJ Redick role. You still want to add some more shooters. So again, a Bogdan, but you know, I just won't even talk about Bogdan anymore because I just don't think he'll be traded. But if you can trade for like a Davis Bertans, he'd be an excellent addition. They've also been interested in Derrick Rose, who I think would also be another great pickup for them. You know, we already talked about Derrick Rose. He can add scoring off the bench, what they desperately need. But Davis Bertans would be excellent. You know, he'd be great for this team. Obviously, you probably have to part ways with Matisse Thybulle or Zaire Smith and a future first. I don't know if you want to do all of that, but you know, Bertans would be great. But really, any shooter for this team would be great. They're in desperate need of shooting. You know, it's gonna help out because Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid will give them more space to work, and I think it'll improve their team drastically. But one move that I think they should make internally is probably look to like move Al Horford to the bench, so then you can start Francois Korkmaz, and then have Josh Richardson play the 2 or the 3, and then you have Tobias and Joel. It's just gonna add more spacing, and then off the bench you're gonna have that facilitating, do-it-all type of center who, you know, then when you play like the Bucks potentially in the playoffs, you can start him, and then, you know, that'll be good for Giannis. But I think this team is obviously constructed solely to beat the Bucks, but you know, you have to get there first. But yeah, you know, the Sixers should just look for shooting. Really, I think that's all they're gonna be looking for. So that's it on them. Another team I want to highlight really quickly, the Los Angeles Clippers. So even though the Clippers have been drama-filled really this whole season, you know, a report came out I think a couple days ago that they're having chemistry issues. You know, the guys that were on the team for a while, like a Montrezl Harrell, maybe a Lou Will, a Pat Bev, they're kind of angry at the management because, you know, they're taking these star players and they're putting them on a pedestal rather than, you know, the star players have to work their way into the system, I guess, because, you know, they're just now getting there. You know, that they just came in immediately and it's all about them. So I guess they're angry about that. I don't really know. But really what they need is they need length. You know, they need a big man. Because Montrezl Harrell is cool. Obviously, he's a great scorer. You know, he can rebound. But he's only 6'8". He can't shoot. And he's a free agent, actually, at the end of the season, unrestricted. So he could demand a high market, maybe from a team like the Hawks, potentially. The Hornets, maybe. I don't know. And I don't know if the Clippers want to pay him that. No, I'm not saying trade him. I'm saying trade for a big man. So if I'm looking at big men around the league, one name is John Henson of my Cleveland Cavaliers. I think that'll be a good addition. John Henson brings defense. You know, he needs another big body in the paint. A potential trade. You know, you're probably gonna have to have a cap filler. I don't know if you have any of those. Maybe a Montrezl Harrell. I mean, Mo Harkless. You know, and then maybe your first round pick this year. I think, can they trade it? I don't know if they can trade their first round pick this year or not. But if you can do like maybe a Mo Harkless and a Mfiondu Kabengele, if I'm a Cavs fan, that's a trade that I'm definitely taking. You know, I think that'd be a great trade for both sides. You're getting John Henson, who can help you defend Anthony Davis. And then for the Cavs, you're getting Mfiondu Kabengele, who's a young guy who could potentially grow into becoming something. But yeah, or also they could definitely look for another facilitating point guard because they definitely need it. Their playmaking is meh this year. You know, they don't have that point guard that can facilitate. So like a DJ Augustine is somebody they can look to trade for. A Matthew Dellavedova potentially, you know. But yeah, they similar to the Clippers, I mean to the Lakers, excuse me, kind of. They don't really have that many assets to trade. I mean, obviously you can trade like a Montrezl Harrell, but do they want to trade him? I don't know. I don't think so. So yeah, those are 3 teams that we're covering. Other teams that I'm looking at, the Celtics in the market for a big man. They've been linked to Tristan Thompson. Potentially they could trade for him. That'd be nice for them. What would the Cavs want in return? I don't know. The Cavs would probably want that Memphis pick alongside another cap filler. I don't know who you can have to fill the cap though. But yeah, the Celtics, maybe the Raptors. I mean, the Raptors are a team known to be aggressive, so maybe they could be aggressive once again and look to trade for a. Never mind. I tried to, but never mind. And then you have those teams, you know, on the cusp of the playoffs, like the Trailblazers. We have already talked about them. They're probably definitely be active in the trade deadline. But yeah, those are, you know, a couple teams that I think will be active. Now we can talk about some players that I think will. I don't know if they'll be moved, but the rumors will be there for them. So one player I want to highlight, Derrick Rose. We already highlighted him. Excellent scorer. I think, again, you know, the Pistons would be fools not to trade him. He should definitely get them a first-round pick from a team. But other players, Tristan Thompson, we already talked about on the Cavs. And another player on the Cavs, Kevin Love. I don't know what's going on with him so far. I think, personally, he'll stay. You know, if he was going to be traded, he'd already be traded by now. And, you know, it's been kind of dormant under rumors for him. So I just don't see a move happening for him. But I think for the Cavs, I just think you're not going to be able to get a lot back. You know, and I think you got to wrap that around your head. You're not going to be getting a first-round pick back or a young star. You know, you're probably going to get, you know, a decent, like, rotational young player, maybe like a Zach Collins from the Portland Trailblazers, if that's a trade that you want to explore. But, yeah, so Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, Derrick Rose. We already highlighted Bogdan. I don't think he's going to be traded. I mean, yeah, this trade deadline, I mean, you can look at maybe like the OKC Thunder, Danilo Gallinari, Chris Paul. I mean, I don't know. They're fighting for the playoffs now. I don't know if they want to trade those guys. Looking down the list, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't see a lot of trades really happening in general, you know, nevertheless, big trades. So, yeah, I think we can expect this trade deadline to be kind of dormant, to be quiet. You know, not a lot of things will happen. And it just won't really be that exciting. I mean, I don't know. You know, maybe something big could happen. But, yeah, that's just my opinion on it. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. Please like and sub and share with friends. We're on the road to 60 subs. And it's So Sports, and I'm out. Peace.